And welcome to another Cardinals Nest here on HBC TV 25. I'm Dean Beckman, joined once again by Donnie Netto. Donnie's our Sports Information Director at St. Mary's. And this is the show that is devoted exclusively here on HBC to St. Mary's University and its athletic programs. And our guest today is Greg Moore, and Greg is no stranger at all to the Cardinals Nest. Greg has been on many times, but this time in a brand new capacity as head coach for the women's hockey team. So Greg, you've been an assistant for 8 years. Nice feeling now to be kind of taking the realms and taking charge this year, right?
Yeah, it's a little different. It's been a little bit of an adjustment trying to get my own kind of personal schedule kind of figured out and organized, and now having some help and being able to kind of direct with the coaching staff from Jason Carter, my assistant coach. So it's been a very positive, enjoyable adjustment so far.
Yeah, and certainly we want to mention as well and recognize Terry Manor, the longtime head coach for the Cardinals. Tell us what you learned from Terry during your 8 years as assistant.
Well, nothing less. I mean, Terry gave me my first real break. I graduated, done with my athletic eligibility, and still had a year left in school. So Terry allowed me to help him coach his goalies my fifth year, my senior year, and I was lucky enough that a position opened up right after, and he gave me my first shot. So it was a very enjoyable experience, and going in, I never thought I'd be a person coaching women's hockey and enjoying it so much, and now I'm very thankful for that opportunity he gave me. It's almost 10 years ago now.
Good.
What has been the biggest adjustment from when you were an assistant, which you did for, as Dean said, for a number of years, to becoming the head coach? What's been the biggest challenge or biggest adjustment for you?
I think the biggest adjustment has been the fact that everything falls on me. You know, I had my own kind of roles and responsibilities I had as an assistant coach, but now as a head coach, while I delegate some to Jason, no matter what, it all comes back, and it's my responsibility to make sure it gets done. So it's just making sure that my schedule is much more organized. I have my times that I need to be doing something, and being available for my students, and that's kind of been the biggest adjustment, making sure that I'm consistent with my communication and making sure I'm consistent with my schedule.
We had Lex Krogstad on last week, assistant coach for volleyball. One of the things she talked about was how she went from player, took a year off, now is the assistant coach, and so roles change, right? And certainly your role has changed. So how have you communicated your role change with the players, and how have they bought into that change?
You know, quite honestly, I don't think I've necessarily had to change much of my role. I feel like the biggest thing that Jason and I have tried to kind of communicate is the fact that we are a team, not only him and I, but the team itself. And this isn't something that we are trying to come in and implement all these changes and do all these things. We are trying to make adjustments based on what's good for the group. And quite honestly, I asked for a lot of input from the group to try to get them on board for what we're doing, because in the end, it's their team. It's not ours. We're just lucky enough to kind of be at the forefront and be kind of the faces of the program. But it's their team, and we want to make sure that their experience has been the most enjoyable part of their time at St. Mary's.
Has the adjustment from the assistant to head, has it been easier because you know all these players? And really, most of the freshmen, you know, I know as one of, you know, as the head recruiter last year, you recruited most of the freshmen. So most of these players, they're familiar with you, but they're familiar with you as an assistant. Is it harder now? Is it different as you being the head coach now?
I think the difficulties lie in the small, subtle changes that we've kind of done in terms of our practice, keeping our tempo high. You know, just kind of taking away what they're used to and what we've used to do in the past, and kind of putting our own little spin on it and kind of creating our own unique kind of atmosphere of what we're trying to do with our practices, what we're trying to do with our meetings, what we're trying to do with our game day preparation. I think that's been the biggest adjustment. But in terms of knowing the players and what to come to expect from my personality or from any piece like that, I don't think there's been a ton of that kind of adjustment, just because of the fact that I've been very comfortable here at St. Mary's. All the kids are very comfortable with me. I've gotten to know all of them on a very personal level, and recruited a lot of them to come to St. Mary's. So in that aspect, it's been a very easy transition to be able to kind of help those students and kind of adjust with them along the way.
Okay, no offense, Dean, but I'm tired of talking about Greg. So let's talk about the team. Let's talk about this year's team. You open up on Friday night against Marion.
Yep.
Is it time to play? I got to imagine that the players are chomping at the bit right now to go up against somebody other than themselves.
It is. It's kind of a funny feeling that I wish we could have like just a couple more practices just to kind of make sure we have some of our systems in place. But fact of the matter is we're not in a different boat than anybody else. Everybody still has their dealings with number of practices they have before a game, so it's not like we're any different from Marion. They're going to have the same number of practices. In fact, I think we're even a little lucky with fall break falling on our first 2 days that we were able to sneak in a couple extra practices where I don't think they were able to. So I think we have a couple extra practices under our belt. But yeah, I'm super excited to kind of see what we got. You know, it's fun to go in practice and see our progression through the first week and see how we're improving and seeing what we're doing differently. But it's going to be nice to finally get to play against somebody else and kind of put a team on the ice and see how we adjust on the fly.
So how have things looked in practice so far? Do you anticipate any style changes this year and style of play based on personnel or your coaching philosophy? And then who are some of the key players returning that you're going to be counting on?
Well, I think the biggest adjustment that we made in the style of play is we're trying to create a more up-tempo, faster style. We want to be moving, especially on our ice. It's a little bit bigger than most sheets we play on. So we want to use our speed to our advantage. And we want to move the puck quickly. We want to move our feet quickly. We want to get up and out of the zone as quickly as possible. With that, we are trying to add more offensive styles and more offensive techniques to try to help us create more scoring opportunities. We'll see how that goes as we kind of progress and make some adjustments. But overall, it's not necessarily changed a whole lot. We did change some of our systems, but in terms of how we play, you know, the biggest thing is just creating accountability within the entire team, not only for our players, but also as the coaching staff, making sure that we're doing our job, making sure we're helping them prepare for the teams we have in front of us.
You know, we've got our next guest once we come back from break will be Mandy Sailor, one of your seniors. Talk a little bit about the importance of this senior group and what really they've helped in terms of that adjustment for you and really what they've done for this team.
Well, the senior group is the one that can be the most difficult, especially with a coaching transition. You know, they've gone the last 3 years with the old coaching staff and had kind of ingrained habits and ways that they've gotten used to doing things. And to ask them to change certain aspects of their game or change certain styles for 1 year is always a very difficult thing. They're so ingrained in their habits, and you can't blame them. It's just a fact of life. It's the way it goes. So that's been the one thing that Jason and I have tried immensely to make sure we're communicating with them based on what we want to see happen, because we need their buy-in to set that tone for the rest of the group. No matter what, the seniors are going to lead the way for the juniors, and the juniors are going to lead the way for the sophomores, and then the freshmen are no different because they didn't know what to expect coming in. So they're the ones that are starting with the blank slate. So our upperclassmen are really the ones that are going to set the tone for the rest of the group, and our senior class is going to play a very important role in this team this year.
So give us a little preview of this weekend. You've got Marion on Friday, another non-conference game on Saturday. What do you know about your opponents?
So Marion and Norbert are two teams that are very similar to us. Last year at Marion, we got off to a 4-1 lead. We tried to give it away a little bit late in the game, and we ended up winning 4-3. And then St. Norbert plays a big, heavy style. They like to play physical. They like to play aggressive. They're up and down the ice, but again, I think very similarly skilled than we are. That I think it's going to be a really good game, and it's going to come down to who's going to make the least amount of mistakes. And I think that's the way we're going to see a lot of our games this year. In terms of talent, I think we have a lot of very good talent on our team, and it's going to come down to how well do we buy into our systems, how well are we able to know our systems, and who's going to make the least amount of mistakes. And as long as we come to play every day, I think we're going to have a shot to win.
Greg, talk a little bit. One of the unique features we have at St. Mary's in our hockey programs is I only have to type one name, and it's more. You got your dad, Bill, as the men's coach, and you as the women's coach. Do you guys talk a lot between each other in terms of styles of play? Maybe are you looking to him to maybe give you some guidance? How is that relationship, aside from being father-son, but how is that relationship as head coach to head coach?
We talk a ton. In fact, my wife kind of makes fun of me that we talk so much. But no, it's a very unique situation that I went from high school where he was my high school coach. I went to college where he was my college coach, where I started working at St. Mary's coaching the women's hockey team, thinking I'm going to step away from him a little bit. Our offices were right next to each other. And now, like you said, being the kind of more family kind of running hockey things at St. Mary's, it's a very unique thing, and it's been a lot of fun so far. Like you said, it's been we bounce ideas off each other all the time, and it's nice to kind of have that idea. And by all means, it's not that we're agreeing with each other, because we get in more fights than anybody could ever even imagine. But you know, our relationship is so great that we yell and scream and fight with each other, but then 10 minutes later, it's like nothing ever happened, and we get back to things as normal. So it's a very unique opportunity. It's been a lot of fun to get to learn from over the years, and it's going to be a lot of fun as we kind of progress, seeing what we can do for hockey at St. Mary's University.
Going to be a little family rivalry. Okay, my record is this, and yours is this.
That's the next to come now. So. All right, Greg Moore, the head coach for the women's hockey team. Thanks for being on the program.
Thanks,
Good luck this weekend and the rest of the year.
Thank you.
All right, stay tuned. We'll have Mandy Sailor from the women's hockey team on the Cardinals Nest coming up next here on HBC.
And now the new wrinkle, oh look at this prancing from Lady Poodle, which goes into a conga line. Amazing, amazing. And now the new wrinkle, oh look at this prancing from Lady Poodle, which goes into a conga line.
Play, pause, rewind. Record now and watch on your schedule. Never miss out on your favorite shows. Free DVR service and equipment is included in all GigaWorld packages.
What's a Southern girl? It's waking up before the sun rises. It's loving the simple things in life like the dirt roads that lead you home. It's working hard to get what you want. It's hanging your own stands, breaking your own ground, and strategizing every little move for that one moment when everything you've worked for is standing right in front of you. Even if I fail a million times, I keep pushing myself till I'm exhausted, filthy, and about to give up. And that's when the adrenaline hits.
Go, go, go. Come on. Although, yeah!
I'm sorry, Miss Emmy Lou. I've gotta be moseying on.
What are you doing?
Binge watch like a boss. With HBC DVR live streaming and HBC TV to go, watch what you want, when you want. It's all included with HBC GigaWorld packages.
NASCAR racing is about a whole lot more than just cars going around a track. It's about people who drive, people who engineer, people who plan, people who know how to put it all together. Meet the people who make the cars go round every week on Raceline. Watch Raceline here every week.
And welcome back to the Cardinals Nest here on HBC TV 25. We're talking women's hockey this week, and we have Mandy Sailor, a senior from the team on the program, and we made her promise not to swear like a sailor. She promised she wouldn't. So Mandy, you're from Elk River, Minnesota. Tell us about how you got started in hockey at Elk River, and then how you progressed kind of through high school, and why you ended up coming to St. Mary's.
Yeah. So I have a big hockey family. I have an older brother and an older sister, so it was pretty easy to follow in the footsteps. I started when I was pretty little, around 4. So I've been doing this for a while now. Still not perfect though, of course, far from it. But I played as an Irondale Knight when I was younger, and then we moved as a family to Elk River, Minnesota. And so I started playing at Elk River, and then junior and senior year rolled around, and my older sister had played at St. Olaf, and my brother played at Gustavus. So I kind of was looking for a different school in the MIAC, and then Coach Greg Moore came out to me, and it was pretty easy to choose St. Mary's once I got on campus. So.
And we got the best one, didn't we?
Oh,
of
absolutely, yeah, always.
You know, it's interesting, and I think of this especially this weekend because both soccers will have their senior days. But you know, you mentioned, okay, I'm looking at colleges 4 years ago. Is it hard to believe that starting on Friday, you'll be starting your senior year, and this will be your last year of competitive hockey?
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like I was just a freshman having Mary DiBartolo as a senior and having Ken's Klimek around. It really goes faster. You blink and it's already here, so I'm just trying to enjoy each day.
So who are some of the players that you really looked up to and kind of helped mold you into not only the player that you are, but the leader that you are on the team?
Oh, that's really hard because there were
many
so
of
many.
those,
Yeah, no, for sure. I had Katie Letourneau when I was a freshman. She was a junior, so I had her for 2 years, and I was super spoiled because she was such a good role model for me. And then I had really superstar athletics, Mackie Thaddeus, to follow, so I had really big footsteps to follow, so I'm really thankful because it makes a big difference for me today.
Did they help? You know, you look at where you're at right now in terms of being one of the leaders, being one of the seniors, what do you see your role being as the season starts to progress here? Because I know that early on in the off season, you know, Coach Moore and Coach Carter really relied on you guys to get things rolling to prepare for this season.
Yeah. My role is interesting because being a senior, it's weird because you're really close to their ages, so it's not like you're some superior person. I think just doing the right thing is a big thing as my role. Leading by example in the classroom and on the ice is just what you really can do, and ultimately it comes down to really being a good follower of the coaching staff, and that will really make the difference.
And we spent a lot of time, and I'm getting tired of talking about Greg, but I think we need to a little bit. From your perspective as a player, you had him for 3 years as an assistant. Now he's the head coach. What's been the biggest adjustment for you guys? I know I asked him that question, but you know, from your standpoint, what's been the biggest adjustment?
Yeah, as you talk, being a senior, having 3 years of being engraved into Terry's wants for us, I think the biggest thing is just adjusting to like what he wants on the ice, like system-wise, having that up-tempo practice. But it wasn't a huge adjustment. We've always had tons of respect for Greg no matter what kind of coaching position he was in. So when we found out that he was the head coach, it was awesome because we knew that we could expect him just to do bigger and better, and he was great an assistant, and he's been doing awesome as a head, so it's been good.
And how would you explain sort of the practices now with a little bit of a slightly new system that he's implemented, a little bit more offensive-minded, more up-tempo? Have you seen some changes in practice?
Oh, yeah. Absolutely, but it's been awesome. Like, even before practice, we have stuff going on to get us ready for practice, and we're really trying to work our way up in the MIAC this year. We don't want to be where we were last year, so all these changes have been for the better. System-wise, it's just a little bit different having defensemen jump in the play and stuff like that. So it's been very enjoyable. So hopefully you'll see it this
all
weekend.
Of the practices been enjoyable? Because I know there was a certain one on Tuesdays now that is a little bit different than you used to. Talk about your Tuesday practice.
Yeah, so my alarm goes off at about 4:30 in the morning. Have to be at that rink at 5 a.m. We have a meeting, and then we do a stretch, and then we're on the ice at 6 to 7. It's a little bit weird getting up at 4:30 in the morning. I've never been up that early, but it's for the better, especially for recruiting purposes. So once you're there and you're going, it's fine, but had a few coffees in the day, so it's all right.
You know, Mandy, we had talked about your leadership role with the team, and I think that's one of the aspects of playing a varsity sport and being a student athlete that really gets overlooked. What would you say, what are the leadership qualities you've developed over the last 4 years that puts you in position now to lead as a senior?
A few of the skills is just feeling like patience, time management, and really respect is a really big thing. When you're on a team with like 24 girls, oh my God, that locker room is crazy. You have to learn how to really be patient with each other and respect where each other are coming from, so you can have a better relationship, and it really does show on the ice when you have 24 girls on that same page. So I would say having respect for one another and patience has been a really big learning opportunity.
What's it been like this year? I know there's a lot of new faces. I mean, when I was looking at the roster and just kind of getting used to names, I've got all the familiar ones, but there's really a number of new faces.
Yeah.
What's it been like to kind of mold this team together to be that one group pointing in the right direction?
Well, in the previous year, we had a pretty big freshman class as well, and so I think we had a lot of learning experiences from that, so we've really worked hard to get the molding experience a lot smoother, especially having a new coaching staff. So things we've done is just really trying to make sure we're all in the same place at the same time and getting all the voices heard. Those kinds of things have been good. But it's been really fun. We have an awesome group of freshmen, so they should be great for our program.
And Mandy, you want to talk about the academic side of things a little bit. I know you're coming into my class tomorrow on Thursday, and you're interning with the Student Success Center on campus, and one of the things you're going to be talking about with my freshman class is time management.
Yeah.
So how did you sort of become kind of a research expert in this particular area, and what are some of the things you'll be sharing with the class tomorrow? Just a quick summary.
Yeah, so my internship was basically a result of attending an NCAA conference on mental health. So there's lots of things that go into it, and so this semester I've really been doing tons of research trying to help the student athletes in particular, but coming into your classroom tomorrow, I'm talking about time management, which is huge being a student athlete. You really have to really prioritize and sacrifice to get everything done if you want everything done. So tomorrow I'm just going to really talk about some sacrifices you have to make, using your planner, trying to make the right choices at the right time so you can better yourself in all the needed areas.
And that's really, I think, for freshmen especially, one of the biggest concerns and probably one of the hardest adjustments to college is figuring out that time management, and your schedule's different. You're on your own now. You're responsible for your time, so that'll be important. You're a psychology major at St. Mary's. Tell us about that program and what you hope to do in the near future here.
Yeah, the psychology department is awesome at St. Mary's. We have very, very good professors who are super invested. I've been really spoiled because I've been involved in tons of different things with this. Research-wise, doing my thesis, I became a part of the Psych Honor Society, really awesome things. So with my major, it's kind of, I've gone through a billion things of what I've wanted to do. I've recently applied to an accelerated nursing program though, in hopes to become a psychiatric nurse practitioner. So kind of the medical side of psychology, but it's been an awesome time at St. Mary's and I've had some really good faculty.
Yeah, good.
So if you had to give a synopsis of your favorite movies, because according to what I read, Hallmark holiday movies, I mean, that has got to be the lamest favorite movie answer I've ever seen. Talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, so actually this is really funny because the other day at a meeting, I told my whole team I hated Disney movies and I just got like demolished. Like everyone went after me. I just really enjoy the holidays and I really enjoy my family. So I've always been surrounded by watching these like really lame Christmas movies. I know, Donnie, but I just really like the sensibility of the movies. Like I know what's gonna happen. I'm kind of that personality, so that's why.
So is it safe to say we never saw Mandy Sailor at the Disney trivia movie nights that they have on campus?
Probably wasn't around.
Now, Donnie, you had mentioned, we only got about a minute left here, but you had mentioned that you know, you like to ask questions of our guests based off of the questionnaires that you provide Donnie at the start of the season.
Yeah, but hers was so lame.
Yeah,
but I guess the one thing I would have to say is who do you love to follow on Twitter?
You, Donnie.
That's right.
It's always been you.
And why is that?
Because I know what's going to come out of your Twitter. That is why.
Awesome. Yeah. Very good. Very good.
So, all right. So, Mandy, I'm sure this being your senior season, you can't wait for this weekend to get started, right? Get on the ice, get the season started, right?
I'm itching. I can't wait to get on. It's a matter of days. We just have to have a few good practices right now, and then it'll be game day.
Yeah. All right. Good luck this weekend. Rest of the season. Thanks for being on the show.
Thanks.
All right. Mandy Sailor from the women's hockey team here on the Cardinals Nest. Stay tuned. Donnie and I will be back to talk about the rest of the sports at St. Mary's next here on HBC.
Good luck with the family. I'm home.
Oh, hi.
Where is everyone?
They're still here. I just gave everyone the HBC Wi-Fi password.
Stream like a hero. Only HBC has the fastest in-home Wi-Fi, where multiple users can download and upload, share files, and stream audio and video simultaneously.
NASCAR racing is about a whole lot more than just cars going around a track. It's about people who drive, people who engineer, people who plan, people who know how to put it all together. Meet the people who make the cars go round. Every week on Raceline. Watch Raceline here every week.
Ever wish you could just swing by the local office to pay your bill quickly rather than calling a toll-free number and speaking to a machine? When you join the HBC family, you get that and so much more with local office locations and customer care. Whether you have general questions or would like to upgrade your services, HBC is here in your community, providing an unrivaled, personalized experience. Switching is easy and installation is free. And we're so sure you'll love HBC, we offer a 30-day guarantee. Visit hbci.com to learn more or call 888-474-9995 to experience the HBC difference.
What's a Southern girl? It's waking up before the sun rises. It's loving the simple things in life like the dirt roads that lead you home. It's working hard to get what you want. It's hanging your own stands, breaking your own ground, and strategizing every little move for that one moment when everything you've worked for is standing right in front of you. Even if I fail a million times, I keep pushing myself till I'm exhausted, filthy, and about to give up. And that's when the adrenaline hits.
And now the new wrinkle. Oh, look at this prancing from Lady Poodle, which goes into a conga line. Amazing, amazing. And now the new wrinkle. Oh, look at this prancing from Lady Poodle, which goes into a conga line.
Play, pause, rewind. Record now and watch on your schedule. Never miss out on your favorite shows. Free DVR service and equipment is included in all GigaWorld packages.
And welcome back here. We're going to wrap things up on this edition of the Cardinals Nest by taking a look at all of the other sports going on at St. Mary's. Donnie, a lot more than just women's hockey going on. This men's hockey also starts up this weekend, right, with the MIAC Showcase.
Right. Men's hockey opens up with 2 games up in the Twin Cities, up in the Blaine Super Rink. And women's swimming and diving, men's swimming and diving open up this weekend with a triangular against Iowa Lakes Community College and Gustavus. So winter seasons are starting, and then the fall seasons are coming to a close. Both of our soccers will close out their seasons against Concordia on Saturday. It'll be senior day for both teams. Both teams have 6 graduating seniors, so very big senior classes. And as we've talked about all the time, tough to see those people go, but certainly it'll be a great day for them and a great send-off. Volleyball right in the thick of the playoff hunt right now. They've got a huge match against St. Olaf on Wednesday as we're taping this, and then they head to Gustavus on Saturday to play the nationally ranked Gusties, and that'll again be a huge match. These 2 matches will really kind of solidify where we sit in the playoff race, and hopefully, as we talk next weekend, we'll be talking about a playoff victory on Tuesday night. So we'll see how things go.
Yeah, I was looking at the conference volleyball standings today before the show, and Cardinals tied for 5th right now, so they're right in the thick of it. But so too are about 4 other teams.
Absolutely, there's 5 teams battling for 4 spots right now, so it's going to be a dogfight. And the match against St. Olaf, both of them, St. Mary's and St. Olaf, are in the same exact spot, so it's a huge match there. Then you've got cross country that's still competing. They've got the MIC championships this weekend over in Northfield. St. Olaf is hosting that, so I know Coach Barrett is excited about seeing what his teams can do. I know Austin O'Hare's been having a great fall, and hopefully he can really come on and do a good job at the conference championships. So it's a very busy time at St. Mary's. We call it the crossover because you've got the winter season starting and the fall season's ending. So kind of a crazy time up on the hill.
And of course, we mentioned the men's hockey team in the showcase playing conference teams, but it does not count within the conference standings. So the best thing about that, I think, and I'm sure Coach Moore would agree, is that it gives you a good barometer, right, of where you're at since you're playing other
Absolutely.
known conference teams.
Yeah, no question. It's nice to see kind of where you're going to sit in the conference standings. You get a chance, the games are staggered such that you do get a chance to maybe watch a couple of the other teams play. So, we play at 7:30 on Saturday night, so Coach Moore will be there probably a couple hours early. He'll be able to catch the first 2 games, maybe a period of each one before they take the ice. So it'll give him a good opportunity to just kind of see what the conference is looking like. And then really that's why this showcase was created. It was for just that purpose, to give everybody maybe just a little preview of what the MIC men's hockey landscape is going to look like this year.
Yep, so that's going to wrap things up here on the Cardinals Nest. We certainly invite you to come out to women's hockey action this weekend. They play at 7 o'clock on Friday night, and then a 2 o'clock home game Saturday afternoon. We should also mention, Donnie, and invite people to come out, a reminder about the Haunted Forest, the fundraiser for the softball team. And it really is just kind of a nice, scary walk through the woods of St. Mary's. They go through a lot of work every day, every night, to set up and tear down, and all different kinds of and types of scares to match just about any age that you can imagine. So come on out. That's going to be Friday night, Saturday night, Sunday night this week, and Tuesday night, which is actually Halloween. So they'll be out there on Halloween as well. So we invite you to come up to St. Mary's. That takes place between the softball and baseball fields. All right, thanks for watching the Cardinals Nest here on HBC. We'll be back with another show next week right here on Channel 25.